right, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting our session now. And before we do that, we will have a video from one of our sponsors.
COVID-19, disaster, unemployment, poverty. It has been a year of trials and tribulations across the U.S., where we have buried loved ones, we have gone through hardships, and we have struggled. But together, we endured. We kept each other going. We kept each other laughing. We kept each other smiling. And we supported each other because we are in this together. Islamic Relief USA, working together for a better world. Donate now at irusa.org.
We're calling it Hitting a Home Run for Halal. And how are we doing that? We're building a global community through technological innovation. And for sure, this is the panel that we can talk about technological innovation during a pandemic. It has been very inspiring what's been going on. I think we'll just introduce the speakers because they are the story here. Let me start first with Ahmad, who is the founder and chief executive officer of Serenai Commerce. She is an advisor and strategist for international companies seeking to do business in Malaysia. So she's coming with us from Malaysia. And thank you so much because I know it's 2 a.m. there in Malaysia right now.
Yeah.
She's participated in a number of government transformation programs. And recently, she founded the world's first digital halal ecosystem. And I'm sure she's going to tell us more about that. Previously, Amna was elected the chairman of the SME committee, which advocates policies and programs to the Malaysian government. And she's held several high committee posts in international business chambers. So welcome to Amna Shadi.
Thank you.
Our second guest remotely, also from Malaysia, is Mamadou Ndiaye. And Mamadou is a Senegalese-French technology entrepreneur, as I said, currently based in Malaysia. He has more than 15 years of experience in product marketing, sales, and strategy for corporate entities and startups in both Europe and Southeast Asia. In 2015, he co-founded Appsaya, which is a system that helps the business event industry enhance human interactions, sort of a lot of what we do here. And it has a mission and helps participants make meaningful connections. Mamadou is also the founder of Wasabih.com. And this is the halal economy professional community with a mission to bring economic opportunities to the global Islamic economy workforce. Mamadou is a co-founder, startup mentor, and board member also at La French Tech, Malaysia. Sorry, I was born in France, I have to do that accent.
Perfect.
And Mamadou graduated with a Master of Science degree from SC Gelec, the Graduate School of Electrical Engineering in France. So welcome, Mamadou.
Thank you very much.
Sorry to keep you up at 2 a.m. And
It's a pleasure.
our third speaker on this panel, whom you know already, because I keep telling you all what a tech geek he is Marwan Ahmad, who's also the President and CEO of US Halal Consultants, President and CEO of Arabesque Media, the official organizer of this conference, and also the President of the American Halal Council. So welcome again, welcome back. So this is a panel with three basically extraordinary entrepreneurs who are creating things that are helping to connect the halal community, in fact, to build the halal community. So I think I want to turn first, perhaps, to Mamadou to tell us a bit more about Wasabih and Appsaya. What you've done, what have you done in these endeavors to be? How are you connecting people across the globe to create the halal community? And we're going to wait for a second while we transition the audio.
So I was saying that I was very happy to be here. It's a pleasure to be surrounded by my seniors Sis Amna and Marwan, in the halal economy, but also in the technology space. Appsaya is a young startup. We started our journey by helping trade shows and conferences to connect with attendees, and we have been very privileged to work.
Regional and independent,
Okay.
and they have to be consumer protection. Also have to protect the consumers. All of this falls into the ethical lifestyle of halal. So many things fall under this. For example, we talk about halal certifiers. We have a couple of certifiers here with us, three, and they use, I'm hoping by now, software to monitor their certification, to update the systems, to track the procedure of the certification from A to Z. And this means technology. This means a lot of development. And I'm sure this is an evolving process because there isn't a system that's made for this process yet, unless I'm not aware of it. So each one of you guys have to come up with your own system, a CRM or something similar, to monitor and keep track of the process that you're going through. So why do we need the innovation and technology in halal? Well, it's going to make life easier. It's going to make it easier for the business to run. It's going to make it faster and cheaper for the consumer who will be using this the product. The more efficient the technology and the process is, that means reducing the cost on the business. So it is very important that we not only copy what's existing out there in terms of technology, but also innovate technology that pertains and applies to the halal ecosystem. I know there are many opportunities out there to copy existing successful ideas, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. To take a successful concept and apply it to the halal life and halal business, but also encourage businesses or high-tech people to innovate in this area, because we want to be leaders. We don't want to be followers only. In that sense, halal technology is a critical thing for us, and I'm sure companies like Halal Guys, you mentioned earlier that they're trying to improve the ingredients of their food for health reasons, not for business reasons only, because they care about the consumer. And this is critical, and that falls under the ethical halal product and service. So another important issue here is collaboration. For example, we work with Wasabih, which is a new platform similar to LinkedIn, but designed specially for halal businesses to communicate, collaborate, and network. These kind of partnerships are important because we can brainstorm together, we can support each other, we can promote each other, we can fix each other's problems, because he might catch an issue with something I developed in technology and say, can you fix it, because it will make it better. And the same thing for us. We can go back to their company and say, we've been using your platform. It's a great platform. Would like to also give you some feedback as users of your platform, as a business user. And the same thing with the sister, who also has, her company has the Verify Halal app that we started also collaborating with for Malaysia. So this collaboration is critical for the growth, because no one of us alone can be successful at what we're doing individually, as an individual business. We have to collaborate and collectively strengthen and empower the halal technology sector. One of the challenges businesses have is adaptation to the technology. Technology does exist, it's out there. How many businesses are willing to jump on it and test new products, new technology, is sometimes a challenge, because if you're used to a certain way of doing your business and you don't want to fix something that's not broken, it's hard to change a whole system into something new for somebody who's been running for 20 or 30 years on the same method of running their business. But if technology saves time and money, business owners are willing to try it and adapt to it, as long as the adaptation process is not lengthy and costly at the same time. So what we need to do to move forward from this point on is for the community to also adapt to this, not only businesses. So we have a sister here that is developing an app that works similar to what is it? Groupon. Thank you. But she's modifying it to work for the halal community, halal businesses, which is great. We have another brother also on similar website and app. Also is taking a successful concept and trying to make it adaptable to the halal community. So halal community also has to catch up to this. Yes, there is Groupon out there that's very popular, but very greedy too. And so if we have a halal concept of Groupon, it should not be as greedy. It should be easy to use, just like their concept. And the community, especially the young people who are technologically more oriented, need to accept or try these technologies and not to be overcritical, because sometimes there are issues with this new technology. When somebody who's an individual or few individuals trying to do something grand, so grand, it takes resources and it takes effort and it takes a team of developers to come up with these things, these technologies. So the community needs to be also patient, be patient with these developers or these new tech concepts in order for them to be successful. If they try a new app and they find out that it doesn't work as perfect as something else they tried, they have to give it the benefit of the doubt and give feedback instead of saying it's a bad app or a bad technology. So it's going to take a lot of collaboration, a lot of working together and trust in each other's abilities for halal technology to be successful. And it's going to take time, of course. But we have no lack of talents that can do it. It's just a matter of time, I think, to do that, inshallah. Thank you for listening, and inshallah the technical issue is solved now, so we can go to other speakers.
Well said, and well done, Marwan, for vamping all that long and putting in plugs for the our guest technology. I would like to turn to Amna this time and see. I believe that we have sorted out the technical issue, and we're crossing our fingers. We're saying inshallah, and so let me ask you to give us your thoughts, Amna. What is halal technology? And how are you creating it?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Salam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay. It is, as Mr. Marwan mentioned just now, actually, Mr. Marwan has summarized everything very well there. So I was today, in a short space of time, I think I would like to focus on collaboration, because Verify Halal app today have millions of data product SKU, which link to we share data with the certifiers, okay, that want to share the data with us. And of course, it's viewed almost by 5,000 cities around the world. We launched it in 2018, this Verify Halal app. And anyone can look at the product, what's halal, and so on and so forth, because it's authentic, it's real time. And as you know, halal is not forever. It's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, depending on the certification bodies. So we got the verification directly from this, the CB that want to share data with us. And it is not something that we created out of nowhere. So halal has become, as you know, is already in demand in a big way. But interesting enough, it's also been adopted, not just the manufacturers are not just the Muslim, but I would say 80% of, through our research, 80% of halal product come from the non-Muslim manufacturers. That shows that halal has been well accepted globally, just like your vegan or organic, and that is fantastic. So talking about Verify Halal is free for everyone. Of course, you can choose any product based on what cities, restaurant, and so on and so forth. And it's now well taken up by many people, and people view that. Of course, our job include blockchain and full traceability from helping companies and certifiers. But and of course, we work with people like Islamic Development Bank, government, and so on and so forth to so we can appear at the back. You know, we are not we just want to assist as a Muslim and also as part of our jihad to make sure that everybody understand when they take that halal product is really halal. So back to your question, Elisabeth, you know, halal digital, you know, for me, I'm focusing on data. So data sharing. So, so everybody, because in the world, through our research, there's over 300 to 400 certifiers around the world. Okay, so even government like Indonesia claim, you know, in the next 5 years, everything will be halal in their country. So they have appointed more than 200 certifier in their own country itself. So everything that comes to Indonesia, for example, must be halal. So halal is taking ground in many ways. Malaysia, for example, we have our halal certifier, Jakim, for over 52 years already, the oldest certifier in the world, which is governed by the government. So I can see the trend now, government, Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, and now I heard Pakistan, and many more are governing, or UAE are governing their halal in a big way. So back to conclusion, technology, yes, we need it because of the pandemic, but it's also a fantastic way to trace the full traceability. In conclusion, I would say that we just have a client like KFC and Pizza Hut. They have 1,500 ingredients from 100 over countries just to make up their product. Over to you, Elisabeth. You're on mute. I cannot hear. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ahmad, for those observations. Very interesting. We're going to go over to Mamadou, talk about his thoughts. And give us just a second to transition.
Okay. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. So it's a real pleasure to be here and be surrounded by my brothers and sisters, seniors in the halal industry and also in the technology. So just a quick note about what we do and the new platform we put into place these last weeks and months. So Appsaya, we have been very fortunate and thanks to Allah to serve the world largest halal exhibitions and conferences. So we built the first business matching platform for the world largest halal exhibition for over 3 years. And this is how we got into the halal industry and mingling and meeting with the leaders in the halal economy around the world and traveling into North America, into Europe, and we serve in Africa. So we realized one thing by helping these events in the halal economy and also by other Muslim who have the real interest in the empowerment of economy and entrepreneurship for the Muslim around the world. So so we've been observing that there is a very high potential. It's not just to say it's truth. Very high potential in the Muslim world, the Muslim countries, very young, most of them in developing countries, and also Muslims, very talented. But the thing is, Muslim countries, they are very far behind in terms of economic strength. Why? Okay, a lot of reasons for that. But one thing is very clear, that Muslims around the world, they need to learn more and to be more active into entrepreneurship. into learning how to build sustainable businesses. And this is one of the reasons that pushed me as a person, Muslim, to go and start a business and keep learning until now to learn how to build a sustainable business and to share my learning with people around me and to be useful to society. So by attending and helping these conferences and trade shows, we noticed that people, they meet into these events, and event organizers, they make a lot of efforts to make people meet in one place. If you have a yearly event like this one, maybe you spend whole year preparing for this event. We meet there physically before COVID, and then what we do, we just exchange our name cards. And after we exchange our name cards, what happens? Then we'll be discussing into those usual suspects, those social networks, those apps, and the discussion is spread it out and is segmented out there. And the event organizer, who first job, I believe, is not to organize an event, is mostly into building a community. So, but the community is not being built. It's here in Facebook, here in LinkedIn, here in WhatsApp, everywhere. And who is taking benefit from this data? We were talking about data. Data is not just we just made a connection. It's all the whole process, the whole year, all the interactions. When we met at an event, the deal is not sealed there. We'll be discussing for a few months to seal the deal. So all the discussion should happen somewhere where the focus would be what made you meet at that event. So some of the event organizers were asking, okay, after my event, I would like to follow up to know whether these two people who met, whether they seal the deal or not. So, and then after helping this event by providing our platform, business matching and a networking platform to help the buyers meet with the sellers, to help the delegates meet the right delegates, the right speakers into conferences in the Islamic economy. So it was very clear for us that event was just a starting point. Event is just a highlight of a community. Any community have highlights. Like if you have your neighborhood, you can have your aqiqah, you can have your wedding ceremony, but that are just events for the highlight. But the rest of the year, we meet in a community. And talking about community, we are in a religion where the community is a cornerstone of what we do. As the Prophet as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. So we have made you an upright community so that you can be witnesses to people. So this is why we called Wasabih, with the four first letters, Wasat, upright, and BIH is business, Islam, and halal. We want to build the community, an upright community where building business, developing business is fair, just middle, as we have been taught in Islam. And so Wasabih is a continuation of these efforts from the Islamic economy, from the events, to have a community that is focused in the halal economy, where people can connect, can meet all year round, and where we can develop a very powerful set of data focused on the halal economy, where you will not be able to find it somewhere else because it's too generic. So this is how we get into building Wasabih, this the community, the professional community for the halal economy, where we are gathering leaders, we are gathering entrepreneurs, we are gathering everyone who has an interest in the halal economy to do business simply and do it with the teachings of our religion.
Just to add to what Mamadou just finished with, is the fact that we do need an ongoing method or tool of communication beyond just gathering in events like this. So we think, and the way we envision this, and we had many discussions with Mamadou on this, that Halal Expos and summits And we are just at one point of this circle where business communication starts and continues around and build all year long and meet again next year. And if people just come to events once a year, business cannot be conducted. This is just becomes a social event. The idea is to come, meet, network, build relationship, build and continue this communication year round, and come and celebrate again one more time the following year this kind of event. That's why we believe in Wasabih as a platform to communicate and do even business deals, not just to get to know each other. We need people to bid on contracts. Companies put their products out there, RFPs through a system, not just, it's not a Facebook. This is actually built for business interaction and business closing deals through it. And again, the event is just one spot in this cycle of communication.
Absolutely.
Wonderful information. So Wasabih is actually active and online now, and people can interact and join the community to start creating these business deals. So I believe it's wasabih.com.
Absolutely. Wasabih.com, and you can register very fast, and people are making deals. Definitely, it's for now it's starting, but many have already found business in Wasabih. Soon you'll be having some testimonials for sure.
So just to explain what we're doing, we have to switch back and forth. We have some questions in the room, I think. I don't see any on the chat. Anybody who is watching this on the Hopin website who has questions, please put them in the chat. In the meantime, we have a question from the floor here, from Habib. I'm going to walk over there.
Marwan, my only question is, in technology, we have a lot of fraud and people copying people's certificates. So we have a QR code which goes only to the end product and true customers. So we control our own QR code. I have heard and I have seen some cases where people in China especially, they copy and you know what I mean? Copyright. Yeah, thank you. How can you, in technology, how can you, well, you cannot prevent anything, but I mean, it's a question, something about security. Thank you.
So the answer is very easy to copy QR codes. Anybody can make those. Yeah.
So what's the solution?
The solution is blockchain. And Sister Amna here probably can give more information on blockchain and how it's not just the QR code is the issue. It's what information the QR code can show when it's scanned. We don't want to know just who's certified, but we want to know when it's scanned, where it started, what process it went through, and how it ended where it is. That's what matters. So blockchain can solve this issue, I think. Maybe Sister Amna can shed some light on it.
We transfer over to your audio, Amna.
Yeah, I agree with you. Fake halal has been widespread. And of course, they make a lot of money and they can copy barcode and QR code as well. So from our technology, we have a full traceability, including blockchain. It's quite complex at the end. So we deal directly with the certifier. So it is joint collaboration again with the certifier to make sure that product that they certify is really that product, okay? And so it is tough, okay? Malaysia, for example, have 1 year jail up to 1 million US penalty if you have fake halal, and we still have fake halal in Malaysia, and fake restaurants. So the government with the police and also the domestic trade really go and raid all these places via the public cry. When the public say something, so they will go and enforce it. And even then, even in Malaysia, very stringent, 1 year jail, 5 million ringgit or 1 million US penalty, there's still fake halal. So people are not afraid. So technology plays a very important role for us to work and collaborate together, because that's the theme today, because we should not be, I use the word stingy, to share this to the public, because the one that buy the product and use the product are the public. There is no specific, solution for it, because as technology become better, the rogue people, the naughty people, have become clever as well. They can now copy from anything, as you know, right? Even they can copy iPhone 100%, and so on and so forth. So for us, we just need to be more diligent and more collaboration to verify that product is halal. Sorry, perhaps other people have a better view than me. Thanks. I don't know. Elisabeth, you have something to say? We cannot hear the stage at the moment.
Yes. No, you answered the question very well. I don't have anything to add. You guys are the experts. But I do think that addressing these issues of fraud in not just the halal industry, but particularly in the halal industry, are very important. And so that's what all of the technologies, especially your Verify app, it should be good to do, hopefully. And I know that Marwan also is working on trying to think about an app that would work here for the US market, to actually include the information about the certifier, the method that was used to certify, and all of the background information that you would want to know about a certified product or certified service. Because right now, as we've talked about earlier in this conference, you just have a label that says certified halal, but there's no background information that you can really get about it. So if there were some kind of database, I know that's something that Marwan is interested in developing.
So yes, we started working on that actually about a year ago, and we have the blueprints for it. And the app's work is to verify the process from A to Z, where it started, what it went through, and how it ended on the shelf of a supermarket. But that will not work without the collaboration from the certifiers, the manufacturers, the retailers, and the consumer. So all these elements have to work together in order for it to be successful. But let me say this about protection and verification. There are two factors into protecting the halal label and halal product. Number one is government, and unfortunately, we live in a country that does not enforce religious standards, so we have to enforce it from fraud standards. That's one thing. But what's more important, the best protector of halal is the consumer. The consumer has to ask the question to the retailer, to the manufacturer, and to the supplier. Where did you get this label from, and how did you get it? If the consumer doesn't ask this question, guess what? They can do anything they want. And this is what's happening today. The consumer walks into a store, they see the halal label, for the most part, and they don't ask how and what and why. Therefore, they feel at liberty to just stamp anything with the label halal that they make at home with any graphical software, and they call it halal. And there's no accountability. But if we educate the consumer and tell them this is what's happening in the halal market, there are good players and there are not so good players. Therefore, you need to ask that question when you go to the store: how is this halal? And if it's certified, you need to hang the certificates on the wall. And if you don't hang it, then you're hiding something, whether it's a restaurant, retail, or a supplier, whoever it is. And that's the transparency that we would like to create. And we've had discussions with the USDA about this. Why is halal label so generic? Why is halal label doesn't give enough information? Why doesn't halal label have a barcode or a QR code that traces the entire process? Of course, government usually is slow to act, but we have to push them. If we don't push them through advocacy, lobbying for halal, guess what? They're not going to do anything. It's up to us. It's not up to the government. They're not going to do us any favor. We have to ask for things to be done. We have to pressure them for things to be done. Nobody's going to give us something free. So it's up to us as the player in the halal market, and it's up to the consumer for the most part.
Totally agree. And part of that is raising the profile of halal and working on making it more mainstream. Because the more consumer demand there is for it, the more demand for transparency, the more demand for proper labeling, the more demand for knowing exactly how it's halal. And I'm really optimistic given the fact that we now have 48 Congress people who are advocating that halal food be included in the emergency food program, that in the letter that went to the U.S. Department of Agriculture Secretary. And my understanding now is that halal has their attention, and not just for the emergency food program. So advocacy and working together in the community, and I love what Mamadou said about the community. It's the cornerstone. It's the cornerstone of the Muslim religion. It's also the cornerstone of getting things done in the government, acting together, having a larger voice, and don't forget to vote. So all of these things come together to make the voice more powerful. So do we have any more questions from the audience at this point? Yes, we do. Come down.
Noise in the back.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen in the back, would you mind keeping it down a little bit? Thank you.
I want to salute Brother Marwan and his team in taking this great initiative, because this is a big need in the community. And I think for it to become really big, we need to take this to the states, where there's majority, Texas, Florida, California, New York, New Jersey. We need to do this expo in those states for it to take the momentum that it needs. So my question, do you have that in mind? And if you do, let's start working on it.
After I take a vacation from this, I will.
I was just thinking the same thing.
We have people asking us, why don't you do this in Chicago or California or Texas, where there is large concentration? And it's all about resources and the size of team and support we get from businesses. The concept of B2B events like this in the US is fairly new to our community. Most of them, they travel around the world for B2B conferences. This is new to them, so we have to kind of educate the businesses that this is important, because the US is the largest producer of halal meat in the world. Yes, and by non-Muslims. More power to them. I'm not saying it's wrong, but what are our businesses? What are strong businesses that can produce more halal? And I'm not talking just about meat. I'm talking about cosmetics, tourism, finance, everything that could be halal. So we have a great opportunity in the US to grow this market. We're not taking advantage of it, which leads me to the last point I wanted to raise, that if we don't do it, somebody else will do it. Because they see the potential. Are we getting calls from non-Muslim companies, more than Muslim-owned companies, asking us how can we become halal certified? And we're talking about companies on the edge of technology. Stem cells, producing halal chicken from cells, not from meat. And producing eggs from cells, not from real eggs. But they want to become halal certified, so guess what? To sell it to us. But we have to take a closer look at these projects and see, do they fall ethically into the Islamic principles or not? It's not about business only. We have to be also ethical about how we conduct our business. So again, we need to take initiative instead of waiting for others to take over this market.
Any more questions from the audience here? Do we have any questions in the chat or the Q&A from Hopin? Yes?
Yeah, I saw one question to me.
Okay. So I think then, since we can wrap things up perhaps with some final remarks, And we'll go to first Mamadou and then Amna. Just a second to transition, and just because you can't hear us when we've transitioned, just go straight. Mamadou, turn over the mic to Amna so we could just continue on. Some final thoughts.
Yes, Amna had a question, so I let you go. Amna, you wanted to answer one of you. Go ahead first. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, because just now I saw one question from the chat saying that whether, would like to know whether there be, plan to connect the companies to the business. So yes, in the future, you'll be able to purchase that product, yeah, and many more. And we are working with also many e-commerce giants now, in order to show how the halal product can be on their platform, or we work with them, because I'm not interested to be Alibaba. For us, we just have the data and also the verification. So, and I'm also not interested to be an e-commerce company per se, end to end, which is a massive investment. There's already an e-commerce giant out there. So we are working in collaboration with them. I think important in conclusion for me to say, getting a halal product to the global community is not easy. Therefore, we have invested in other technologies as well from the back end. In order, we have many systems. We have 5, 6 other systems in order to make sure the data that we have to the public is correct and is also real time. So we do not need to elaborate it today. But again, based on today's discussion, is collaboration is the most important thing. So like now, our app has been looked at in 172 countries, and there's close to 3 million SKU in the product and more than 5,000 cities. So that cannot happen without collaboration. I think, thank you so much for inviting me today. So whoever have question and wants to collaborate, do talk to us, and we'd be more than delighted to assist. Over to you, Mamadou.
Thank you so much. Wow. Amazing, amazing. Tremendous job, huh? It's really enormous. So I believe as 2 Malaysians, after this, we definitely will have, I'll get in touch so that I can learn more about what you do and seek potential collaboration between what you do and what you do. It's in the halal economy, so definitely we all have to work hand in hand. My conclusion is just to definitely going back to the purpose. Halal is a business, huge business, growing fast in Asia, in Africa, in Europe. So a lot of business. But for every business to, for everything to really deliver on expectations and deliver with the fairness that we seek in the Islamic economy, we have to go back to the purpose. So whatever technology we build, we have to go back to the purpose why we are doing it. We have seen in the Islamic economy, some they copy paste from conventional and bring it to the Islamic economy because this is about business and it cannot work. Islamic economy is different. It's not like another economy. It starts from very, very core principles. So even building technology, we have to go back to the purpose. And then next is definitely the customer. We are here to deliver solutions to customers. It's definitely not only about technology. I would say it's not about technology. It's about understanding the customer needs, understanding the stage they are in their development. The customers in Malaysia, maybe the customers in West Africa are not the same in France or in the United States. So going back to the customer needs, then we can deliver solutions that are meeting customers' demand, but also are sustainable in the long run. And for all Muslims out there who are seeking in the halal economy something purposeful, and also when they meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that can agree with them and be merciful to them. So we have to renew our intention in what we do. And I believe if we do so and we work hard, we collaborate, definitely we'll be succeeding here and there, inshallah. And thank you for inviting me. It was really a pleasure to be sharing the stage with my brothers and sisters. And assalamu alaikum to all my brothers and sisters in the United States and all the world.
Thank you so much to all three of our speakers who are addressing technology in the halal sphere. And it's been great to have you, to have your ideas, your insights. And I think that's going to wrap up our panel. Thank you to Mamadou and Ndiaye. Thank you to Amna Shadi. Thank you to Marwan Ahmed for all of your wonderful remarks.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to transition to the next panel shortly. Do want to encourage you to continue visiting the booths. Also to drop your business card over to win the 3 nights in the beautiful Kuda Vilingili resort in the Maldives.